See what carrier is going to pick up. Can go towards, you know, just win lane, win game if they'd like to pick up a ranged support, but instead it's going to be the Alistar, something that he's had phenomenal success on, but isn't going to give them a whole lot of laning power in the very early game.
Yeah, it's a trade-off of how strong Alistar is into Rel and some of the Rel engages and how you can just straight up deny. You can even deny Nefiri engages if played correctly really well with this pick. But yeah, the trade-off is the laning phase, especially into a Corki, is going to be very tricky to pilot. And when you already have two potentially winning lanes in top lane and mid lane for DRX here, nameplate's off here. I feel like this draft for DRX really does feel quite strong. T1 though, nameplates are on. It's Faker's here. It's Doran on the
Surely
rumble.
whittle you down and destroy you. They've done it in the past. We'll see whether they can do it again. All right, we are on the T1 side of LoL Park, so obviously the fan chants were the same volume, weren't they, Wolf? I just, it's a bit confusing because of proximity for me.
Strangely enough, when I look over at the DRX side, it looks very red as well.
Huh.
Just because there's a lot
No,
of
that's the
fans
CGV
of
cups.
Ah, that was it. Okay.
That's what you can see. Otherwise,
they wear
it
the
should be
cups
blue.
now, yeah.
Yeah.
Cups have zippers. And Aurora can win out those trades early as level 2 for Keria.
Yeah, gets a pulverize here. It's Deadly Flourish out, and Andil is in trouble. Lit on fire here. Holds the flash until the last second. But yeah, he's not laning too much anymore. We'll see how Teddy's going to be able to survive this.
Does have his potion, which will help him.
Yeah, it's pretty good at this stage of the game when you don't have very much health. So, and without too many things that you've put that much mastery into, he was already good at it at that time. Is now Yukao closing the gap yet again. Another Electrocute proc. He only needs to hit another ability and a half, and he will be able to take down Faker. And in the end, is able to deny a cannon.
Yeah, the timing of this as well when Faker's trying to get that cannon, the wave is far away from him, can't do anything, and has to back and teleport so early, while Yukao is still extremely healthy, as well as mana healthy, means that Yukao could potentially look to do this again. Now, here comes Owner and Keria.
I think Yukao may need to use some abilities. He flashes, Sponge is here, but Yukao is really dead. That is going to be first blood going over to Owner. And just a little greedy is good old Yukao, even
Yukao,
using the flash.
You've been in this league for so long. You know, you took a little break, but the Faker taunt got you really...
It's not even a Faker taunt, it's the minion taunt as much as he can. Doran has got the equalizer though, right as these grubs are spawning, but he's in the bottom lane without teleport, so never mind. That's not going to really pay too much of a difference here, as Owner now in trouble. Only level 5 as Sponge goes untargetable, but Owner's very targetable. It's Yukao that grabs that kill here as Keria has to get out of there, and these grubs belong to DRX.
Yeah, if Owner had ult, the situation looks totally different, but at level 5, that's simply not available, and he is just completely blasted to death. And that is a kill on the board here for DRX, but as you mentioned, arguably more importantly, grubs going over as well. Denying grubs from an Azir always feels really good.
And now the equalizer is coming down. Andil gets out of the way of it. Him and Teddy running away from one rumble is a little bit of a worry, but there was an Alistar waiting in the wings. So I think right to play it safe.
Feels really good if you are the solo top laner into the bottom duo and you're winning out.
Oh, Keria going for it once again here as Yukao trying to use his wall here and does manage to do so in the end. Even Keria taking a lot of damage in trade. Now the Drake has been started.
It's just so tough without the Aurora ult to make a fight happen here.
Yeah. Doran now Sponge throwing some daggers around. Doran was on the mind because he's in the top lane without equalizer available. So won't be able to affect this fight here as Yukao once again softening up Keria. He's only level 4 as that's a steal from Sponge. And Owner now trying to get out of there, but I don't know whether he's going to be able to. They just close the gap on that Crescent Guard as Faker looks for the Emperor's Divide. He gets it. Sponge goes untargetable, flashes from Keria. Keria will be taken down. It's Andil that gets the kill, but now he's right on top of this teleport. The curtains, they've been called, doesn't land onto Sponge for the last bullet, and it's highway robbery!
And Doran TP's in for nothing! And Teddy's up here going, thanks for the freebie! Is Sponge the best Nefiri in the LCK?
Maybe. Oh, 100%. Sponge, absolutely fantastically played, but Keria almost killed. Like, if Sponge hadn't have flashed that headbutt pole, that would have been like one of the classic Keria God plays, you know? Gets the 3-man knock-up, then all of the AoE is layered, Doran might actually get there in time. Oh, it's a bit of an unfortunate situation. 4 grubs now for DRX as well.
Yeah, they get Dragon. They're looking for more.
Well, Carrier only level 5 here. And Sponge still trying to keep it interesting, but T1 should be able to get 2 of them. Good untargetable there as Andal. He's got other things on his mind. Shattering Strike comes down as Doran uses a very defensive ultimate. Yukao still doing a lot of damage, though, as we can see, as Sponge is just bouncing around the rift. Another teleport to come in, this time from Faker. And Rich has followed suit, looking for an angle here as this scuffle will continue. Faker bleeding for now, but it's Andal that's the target, and he will be taken down immediately. It's traded, though, as Owner. That's a phenomenal ult, but I think he's still dead. The bleed is ticking, and he's still going to be taken out. That is a Yukao with a double. And this Aurora is going to be mega fed this game.
I remember, too, at the beginning of the fight, Yukao had an opportunity to ult to kill Doran and decided not to use it because he knew there was higher value.
Yukao.
What a sick play there from Yukao as well.
Is this 2018 LCK Summer Champion Yukao?
It seems like it. And, I mean, with how well Sponge is playing this early game, too, DRX looking fantastic. Another plate is going to go over, but yeah, Yukao holds his ult.
Some of these resets in these fights as well. You can see 003 now does have his Eclipse completed. And the Nefiri doing what it says on the tin, or what we expected the tin to say.
That's what I was told was on the tin.
Yeah. The tins have been a little bit weird. Maybe it's just baked beans sometimes. As now Andal finds himself a cow. Carrier still level 5. And Andal has that Magnet Storm available. They're not going to be using it right now, but this... Oh, Yukao's going to basically be behind Faker.
Look at Yukao's gold lead.
Yeah.
At even CS, so 3 kills now, first brick.
And full local gold for first brick. There it goes.
Yeah.
Now 1.5. And yes, they're winning now, but it's only by 1.2, so...
Small victories.
We're singing their praises while we can. Well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, and we'll see if that continues to be singable. For the moment, though, T1 in a really nice position. Carrier blocking the entry here.
I've seen this one before. Sponge looking for another heist angle. He is in the pit. Owner is going to spot him out. These daggers are not connecting. Rich on that flank angle, but he's on that ward. And headbutt out. No Magnet Storm for you, Andal. Still Carrier taking a lot of damage. That is going to be the Drake going over to Owner. Somehow that Shock Blast is actually going to miss. That's going to force Rich to flash away. Some decent damage here from the Between Worlds, but the answering Deadly Flourish is too good. And there is the shutdown. Straight over to the GOAT as T1. They'll take the Drake and a whole bunch more.
That was definitely a Yukao moment. Bit of an ambitious play. Sometimes they work out, and often they end up not working out and backfiring in a big way, and Owner re-engages and can follow up on that. Yukao ults that group instead of ulting here. And I think at this point, the fight is clearly over.
Well, there's an Emperor's Divide. Rich cannot go to the skies because he's been to the skies recently. Yukao is going to come down and see what he can do here as Doran is dead. Faker is under the turret, sets up his own, but I think Yukao will have enough damage to finish this off. It's going to take a bit of time as he flashes as well. Finally, the auto comes in, and that's a double kill for the guy that just died. I think that's pretty good reparations.
And then
there.
Faker kills the turret, sets up the Sun Disc, but unfortunately, there's just not enough time to survive here, even with Yukao taking that turret aggro. Doesn't do that much damage.
Yeah, getting the bone plating at the right timing there as well for Faker keeps him alive for that one extra auto attack, but the Sun Disc doesn't do enough. So throwing his daggers, both of them into Owner, that bleed. That nerf needs to come in because it just feels like it does a whole lot. Not going to be able to find that dagger. There, though, is Deadly Flourish now onto Teddy. He's going to have to get out of here. Does use the barrier. And Sponge tanking a few of these shots up. And my God. Welcome back, Guma. He's doing a fair bit of damage here on his Jhin. As Rich, with that W in range form, will be able to do a fair bit of work to this turret, but not if Doran turns up, clears out the wave and the Jace at the same time. We'll see what he does decide to build in. Just feels a little bit like he just doesn't quite know which direction he wants to go in, but hitting shots from a long way away is something that's going to work out relatively well. Charge from the Rift Herald trying to come in here, and that is going to successfully happen. It doesn't do too much more than that.
He has been hitting a lot of shots so far. There's secured too many eliminations just yet, but they have some river vision. I think he certainly can commit to it.
Yeah, he's pinging, and Andal is going to get headbutt pulled. Will need to get out of here, I think, and does do so. T1 will let him live for the minute. Speaking of letting things live, Rich is going to not let the turret live. We'll take that one down. The rest of T1 a little bit slow in the rotation, won't be able to stop the Jace.
Rich as well with the Shojin first and Swifties with the tier online, so he's going to go for the Broom on a second. Seen this, yeah, seen this a little bit more recently, but very different from the tank builds of Jace we were watching a lot earlier this year.
Yeah, the Drake going to be taken here by T1. That's going to be their prize after they do push Rich away. I think that this might be able to work. We'll just have to see right now. Andal once I've seen this one before.
They keep almost killing him.
Yeah, he's going to crash down over that wall again after the ignite comes in, but this time Owner is going to follow. He presses ult, wind becomes lightning, bullets become attached to Teddy, and Andal's going to walk his way out. So ultimately it is just the same result. Minute and a half on the Chemtech Drake. But there is also a Baron coming up. This is Yukal. Oh, there's another headbutt ball. Carrier really wanted to pick up player of the match today, and I'll give it to him. That's going to be Owner taking down the kill off the back of the cow.
It's just on a ward there, and now they can get whatever they want. They want Herald, they want Otacon, they want this top turret. They're going to start with Otacon, which is a bit of a scary choice.
Flanking. Carrier coming in, looking for it again. As Sponge going untargetable. Rich with some shock blast angles potentially. That equalizer, great spot, but Faker just wipes them off it. Andal trying to stay alive, and he will fail.
Teddy coming up here. Rich has this turret to play through.
Oh, God. Well, can the shock blast actually land? That's the question. The answer is no, because he's going to be dead. Carrier diving in one more time, and the doggo's on the ground. Teddy, another one of these doggos, is going to be in a bit of trouble as Carrier is down to 1 health, but he is still able to walk his way out. The flash comes in from Teddy, and that should still keep him alive. Okay, Yukal's flashing forward, does manage to take down the jungler. That might mean that Otacon is going to be okay. Deadly Flourish coming on in here as the 1-2 punch, and it's a double! Teddy, I don't know about that one though. The captive audience goes off, and I think Teddy knew that he was dead. Guma just comes on over and punishes. Andal's back up one more time.
I mean, that guarantees there's no real ability to actually Otacon without a jungler. You know, they had a lot of damage there, but taking out... He does give his life for it, and we reset.
Well, Andal crashing forward, and the curtains, they have been called. Andal, I mean, he's just dead. Sand Soldiers will take him down. Sponge a little bit late on that on-targetability, but it might be enough to get himself out of there.
I mean, the fact that T1 has so much vision control over this river right now means that DRX feel compelled to kind of keep trickling in and checking and trying to find some information. There's so many objectives to take.
Oh, the Baron.
Oh, it's a T1 Baron. It's 27 minutes in, but it feels a little bit early.
Well, Guma is trying to follow up on the engage there from Carrier as Teddy gets over this wall, I believe unbeknownst, as he's now spotted.
Yukal is still big.
Oh, okay. Carrier is going to try and get in there. Sponge going untargetable. Emperor's Divide is going to throw Yukal in. He pops on over as Carrier likely to go down, but I think that's a decent trade. They've taken down the jungler as well. Not sure what Teddy was doing. And now Owner is going to be able to transition this into a Baron. Somehow it worked. I have no idea how that all sort of worked into itself, but it's, I mean, T1, I guess, calculated.
I mean, there's just so many objectives to take. There was not a lot of vision for DRX, but I think they really liked that game, Lemmings. Do you remember that game where multiple kills worth of gold, and what was a 1,000 gold lead for T1 is now a 5,000 gold lead?
Yeah, I think they might also be getting another one, as that was really cute from Rich. Nice flash, avoids the headbutt pole, but still, T1 with all of the control of this map that they would like. Owner going to be able to move on over here and look to take down the red buff, and he will be able to successfully do that as well. Deadly Flourish avoided by Sponge, but man...
I mean, T1 are just the kings of objectives. They're so good at setting up on them, playing around vision, looking for turns. DRX fell right into their trap, and what looked like a fairly risky Baron really wasn't with the control they had, and I mean, I don't know if they might just win the game off this.
Well, Owner once again going in, gets the knock up, and down goes the doggo. The curtains have been called, and it may just be curtains on this game. Faker picking up a kill to start this one off. Carrier tanking as much as he would like. Remember, they have the withdraws at the same time, as Guma not quite able to land that one, but he flashes forward, and that should finish off the kill onto Rich. Doran realizing that a whole bunch of his buddies are no longer here. Owner not going to actually get recalled because he did have a GA. He's got 3 items. This Xin Zhao is so incredibly large. They take the inner turret, and they're going to break open the base.
Yeah, Doran's just looking to grab an inhibitor. Dodges the initial CC. Faker has the follow-up ult, and that is a dead dog.
Oh, man.
And I guess all dogs go to heaven, but T1 is looking to send them there again. I mean, look, with the withdrawals that they have, there's like no loss here. There's no reason not to go in. And that they did. Now they're almost 10,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, this is all of a sudden an extraordinary blowout. And it all happened off the back end of that Arakan Baron play. T1 just controlling the map so well. And Faker now looking for an opportunity onto UCal. Deadly Flourish connecting somehow. I didn't even see that. Double Pulverize comes through from Carrier. The layering of the Equalizer is not quite enough, but that doesn't matter. I don't know about the ulti there from UCal, but I think he was just really scared. And who would blame him as T1 are bearing down on the base of DRX. It was a decent try. The early game was okay. UCal kind of got fed, and then it mattered about zero.
T1 are just so good at playing the map, so good at playing around vision. Their coordination is matched by very few teams in the world as Teddy is trying to hold the wave. He's dead.
I mean, he might actually kill both of them. Doran comes in with a scrap shield, so he's not going to die, as Faker was almost bleeding to death, but he's got some honey fruit here.
And I mean, when you look at how this game really turned on its head, it's just a few.
This Xin Zhao is a huge problem. Owner is so incredibly good at this champion. It's good to see that what we were saying earlier on is kind of exemplified by the way that he's played this one out so far. And welcome back, Gumayusi. After 3 months of not playing, this guy is looking real good. Has augmented those first couple of items that felt underwhelming with an Infinity Edge and a Lord Dom. So he's doing plenty of damage now. Doran might need to be a little bit careful, I guess, but maybe he also doesn't, as Ona goes in, almost 3 taps. Sponge gets in another couple, and Faker is the one that actually finishes it off in the end. Equalizer just to celebrate, as Carrier looking for a bit of an angle here. He'll be able to get there, and my God, the damage of this Xin Zhao is obscene. And it's actually Gumayusi that finishes off a bunch of these kills. Doran, maybe move a little bit further out so you don't die to the Nexus turrets, but it doesn't matter. It's an ace. That's going to be the Nexus going down, and T1 in their first game looking pretty good.
There were some... And it's one of the strongest level 1s as well. Carrier will end up with this Recon, which is kind of risky, to be honest. It's tough to engage on most of these champions. Like, Ahri is very mobile. Vi is not necessarily the target you want. She can engage on you as well and lock you in place.
Not a lot of incidental damage, though, on DRX right now. Often it has to be like a skill shot lands or something like that. There's no equalizers you're going to be dancing through. So if Carrier plays it really well, he could have some pretty amazing angles.
I'll be honest with you. If you take the nameplates away, I feel like DRX has a giga draft gap here. Like they have
over the top. Let's jump onto the Rift and see whether that does indeed happen. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for the second game of our final series of the night. T1's debut series started off with a bang with a Game 1 victory, and now seeing whether they can do it again up against DRX here in game number 2. DRX, though, as you can see by the champions that are listed on the left, pretty good, you could say.
Yeah, me and SK Telecom Dynasty started off with a bang as well.
So did the whole universe.
Yeah,
apparently. And like Foxfire is making Faker's life quite difficult, but he will be able to go back. Should be A-okay. You can see only 4 minions behind or something like that. As, oh dear, Doran in a little bit of trouble. One more, and the flashes need to be traded. Doran will survive, but this is looking dicey. Why did you walk up?
Oh my God,
Why did he walk? Oh God, if there was another passive
if he died, I would have lost it. Yeah. Oh, I mean, actually lost it.
Thankfully, Wolf gets to stay on the desk because
I may have said bad words. He has the perfect flash to the Q3 there of Rich, and it just walks right back in.
It is.
We are looking to potentially have a big skirmish here around these grubs, as unfortunately for Faker, he has no prio here. He's sitting at full health and can steal the Ahri ult to zoom over, but looking pretty good for DRX going for the contest here. Teddy is level 4, though.
All right, Faker has stolen away an ulti here, as Yuka could be in a bit of trouble, but the charm will land. Sponge moving over, only level 5. As Ona still onto these grubs. Oh dear, okay. Still, that doesn't mean that Sponge can press an R button because he still doesn't have that one available. One grub has now been taken as Carrier looking for a grand entrance angle. The charm goes wide. That could spell the end for UCal, but still looking for an angle. Flash out from Sponge as Guma level 5, but does have that make it rain to slow him down. And DRX not able to get any joy when it comes to these grubs. T1 should be able to just go back and grab the third one if they would like it.
Man, that tempo hijack from Faker was actually insanely high value. Just pushes UCal away. They're able to get the faster group there. And it's just moments like that where you're like, sure, 200 gold down, doesn't matter. Is Keria...
He's just going in. Ona might be able to take away the blue buff, but no, early smite there. As once again, Sponge looking for an angle, but Andal just gets himself out with the flash.
Great flash from Andal, because if he doesn't flash at that exact moment, he might get insect. Which would have been a disaster. Well, not the full insect, but a flash kicked into...
Which insect?
Probably dragonfly.
Ah, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Splat on the... windshield kind of situation.
Yeah.
But he flashed it. It's okay. He's good.
Yeah. So no insects for Andal, and that is a good thing.
Yeah, just drops that one down. Nothing occurs there, really. As one of our longer first bloods.
Yeah, this one's taking a while, and things are extraordinarily even. 3 grubs went over to T1, but that is it when it comes to the objectives. Ona looking to augment that with a dragon at the same time, but now Sponge has an R button. Presses it, the charm is going to be found here, and this is the Ibai combo. Not a lot Faker can do. Goes down very low, but Keria, not enough to save him, and he's going to have to flash to safety as well. DRX, I mean, this duo doing exactly what it says on the tin.
Looking really clean, looking really good. And Faker was able to, with Keria's help, at least deny UCal the kill.
Okay, Doran still able to offer a bit of damage back in that trade.
I don't know if Doran can quite stick this dragon just yet.
Whoa, Rich really finding a few of these combos.
There's not a lot of killing happening in this game, but there's certainly a lot of trading and aggression.
Yeah, certainly things are happening.
Yeah, I think it might be a ruinous game, you know, with all the damage. No, not quite, but...
ruinous game with like a 9-minute first blood and only 1 kill here at 11 minutes.
Some of the damage done in lane and skirmishes does add up.
And it is worth more now, and that's why we are actually seeing more of the a situation that Sponge will need to try and contest. Looks like 4 grubs should go over to T1 though.
Faker and Rich both have teleport. Rich has Prio, could come up here to try to affect this play.
Well, this is a little bit awkward actually, because they are now split. Ona will be able to wrap around as that grub is going to reset.
Once
Sponge
UCal gets here, I think T1 need to evacuate. They cannot actually, I mean, they will just be chain CC. That single target blow up is absolutely real.
Yeah. So Smite going to be invested here, and it looks like DRX are just going to give up the remaining 2 grubs. T1 should be sitting on 5 moving into the rest of the game.
Yeah, I
feels
think
real good.
In terms of a team fight there, if DRX were in position to fight it, they win 100%, but T1 were just playing the map better. They were threatening plates, and DRX eventually had to say, look, they're playing too far back. We can't engage on them, and also we're losing plates, so they had to make the decision to back away.
Ooh, another Smite actually available here for Sponge, so he'll be able to grab the second one, but still 4-2. T1 going to have some Void Mites to help them out, and that's going to be feeling pretty good.
So the 600 gold lead feels just like a 600 gold lead. It's now a 500 gold lead, but
yep.
It's only a small advantage. These next few fights are really going to be where the game breaks open.
Ooh,
Sponge with a wraparound.
Oh dear. Doran could be in a whole lot of trouble here as he's not able to ult his way out. Good sidestep there as now Keria comes in. Vault Breaker right on top of him. Gets the quickness down, and Sponge is now the target. Infernal Chains not really doing too much as Andal. He comes down. Nice arrow just supporting the rest of the team as it sails by. Maybe there were snacks on it and they got to pick a snack off the arrow to find some sustenance or something like that. Otherwise, he didn't able to stand beside Sponge. And Faker finding some chains here, looking for the solo kill onto UCal, but once again, it's going to be a charm landing. Meanwhile, more fighting here towards the bottom side of the map as the flash over the wall there, and another stand beside me.
After that last passage of play. And Owner is going to start this dragon without really any teammates nearby, but they are rotating over now. Doran does have TP, so...
Oh, UCal's backing and doesn't have teleport, so it looks like it is just going to be a give up on the dragon type scenario.
Potentially first brick here on this dive if they commit.
Yeah.
They won't, though.
So it is just the dragon going down. Mountain Soul this game as well. Feels a little bit better than the Chemtex that we have been seeing so far today. But now, Rift Herald going to be started up. Keria in the area. GUMAYUSI and Ona moving their way over. Sonic Wave going to go wide. And it was some fancy footwork, but now Faker looking to try and take this turret down, and
the turret means feats of strength for them if he actually takes it. So it's worth if they just give this up. TP going to come down to try to defend it.
Yeah, so down he goes. Faker should just be able to focus on this though, and you can see that is exactly what he wants, and there it is. Feats of strength going on over, and the charm is even going to miss. Faker, like, I feel like he has lost lane twice in a row, but is always the one that finds the most advantages.
I mean, sees an angle to commit to that fight, but otherwise can just get feats of strength and turret gold by finishing it off, and that's exactly what he did.
Ooh, Owner and Carrier all diving in. There's a public execution, and Rich, in the blink of an eye, is just dead. Yeah, you saw that little head movement there, and the player cam, he's just like, well, I guess I'm dead. I don't know what I'm supposed to do there.
Yeah, the problem is there's not really a cross map. As even if they tried to commit to Faker there, he could just hijack and get away.
Well, now it's going to be a 3,000 gold lead, just out of nowhere.
Yeah. Pulling it out of some big turrets that T1 are killing with their grub lead.
Still connects.
Nice catch by Owner.
Yeah, it may have missed, in fact. As cease and desist does come on through, Owner will in fact cease and or desist the living thing. Ooh, but Teddy potentially able to get the first turret here for DRX.
So that 3,000 gold didn't quite happen. Good defense there from DRX, but it looked for a moment there like they were just going to fall over.
And actually DRX are looking to try and pull this one back. Teddy, though, is going to take the majority of his health bar, and yeah, he's not feeling too great about it. Does get a bit of a heal, as that's a great charm from UCAL, but another public execution as Teddy flashes out of the way and will be able to survive. UCAL grabbing that kill, big deal to try and get some more money onto the Ahri, as Rich not wanting the 1v1 with Faker.
Yeah, I mean, he knows what it's like to be the Faker of bots, and he sees Faker on the other side. Like, true. I wouldn't mess with me back then, so I'm out of here. Okay, he got it. Okay, so he was a little bit faster than I thought, so that's big.
Yeah, got the tick over, so slight level advantage here for UCAL. Good.
No second item for Teddy, but they do have a lot of control over this area. Herald dropped as well. I think T1 would be wise to consider giving this up.
Well, this turret seems to be where DRX are kind of focused for now. They do need to stop T1 from getting that soul point.
Yeah, and actually the Herald drop made me think the Dragon was spawning faster than it actually was. It didn't spawn when they dropped it, so the Herald just got denied and they didn't hold the prio, so T1's still contesting for this.
Yep, and the Dragon, we saw it just flap its way down, so you can see there the announcement as Drake has entered the game. 100 gold the difference between the two teams, but 2 Drakes makes T1's game state feel a little bit better than that of DRX right now.
Faker waiting for something here. Didn't have teleport, so...
Yeah, does manage to get it. So Cosmic Drive now completed. So 2-item spike comes in, does have that ahead of UCAL.
And interestingly, his rod is later, so we'll get more value out of the level up he'll get. But unfortunately, he won't be here for this Dragon, so it looks like DRX are just simply going to take their first of the game. And with a pretty tanky, high-health Ahri build with some additional resistances, if they keep stacking these.
We have a really relevant question that was just asked in our group chat, by the way.
Yeah.
Valdez was wondering, like, because I often say about things written on tins, what does it actually say on the tin? So we're going to have to hold that thought. Owner throwing Sponge out of there, delivered underneath the turret is slightly suboptimal, and immediately Sponge just goes down. Can they get the answering kill, though, as Doran is dancing away from the fight? Charm connects onto Faker, but he is still looking for more. Chains go wide. Rich still at full health, and Faker may have overextended, but he's got another dash. The cavalry are coming down, but they're seen on the vision as the quickness dives forward, and there's the bullet time. They take down the Rakan, though. It was an awkward situation, and the turret is also going to fall. Ultimately, in the end, I think it was just completely even.
Yeah, it's just a 1-for-1 support for jungle. They do end up pulling it off, grabbing that turret. The game is still even. They're looking for another turret here to make it basically dead even in terms of gold. Well, Dragon is spawned. T1 do not have prio in mid, and DRX, I mean, this is their fight to lose.
Sponge just aggressively picking up the banana brush control.
Teddy needs to be very careful with his positioning. There's a lot of tools that T1 can use to get on top of him. The Ambessa, the Silas, there's a lot of threats. But they have so much vision control, it's really tough for T1 to fight into this.
Yeah, so much of this vision has already been taken away here, as they can just wait out the Sonic Wave.
Look at how careful Teddy is positioning. He's like, I'm way back.
Yeah, and he needs to stay away from Faker, because a hijacked arrow could be a real big deal.
Exactly.
For T1 as Carrier on that flank angle, and he gets into the pit. Now it's an opportunity to kick out onto Andal through Rich here, but it is going to be Faker that locks down the Dragon. That's kind of crazy. Sponge goes in, but Rich is in amongst it as well. The bullet time interrupted pretty quickly, but DRX are just kind of melting. Finally, they find some angles, and Rich getting the huge heals as he looks to exit. It was an even fight until then. Faker dives forward, looks for Rich, but he doesn't get it. The Infernal Chains, and it's Yukal that locks down the kill. Orbit Deception coming on through here, but there's a right click, and GUMAYUSI's able to take down the Ari. Only Rich staying alive here.
9,000 damage for GUMAYUSI. Crazy.
It's not the kind of blowout that we saw last time, and that's the great thing about this, because now we still get to see another fight. Well, something might happen.
It might be about to be like that, because similarly to last game, T1 have full vision control here, and if DRX just trickle through, just like they did last game, it will be the exact same thing that happened in game 1. They are looking to do it.
Single ward.
Yeah, it's exact same situation as game 1.
All right, well, the arrow is going to connect onto Doran. This Otacon is extraordinarily low as Yukal looking to make his way in. The public execution is fantastic as Faker is going to turn up as well. He picks up an arrow. Down goes Carrier to start this one off, but Faker's gone golden. He's bought so much time, and Rich just cannot do enough. He's now looking to get onto Doran in that backline, but he's just a distraction. As now Rich flapping after them, looking for a bit of an angle here, as it's only Guma and Ona that are left alive, and the Otacon, thankfully for DRX fans. But yeah, I mean look, that bullet time just didn't feel like it did quite enough, as Doran once again caught out of position. The Infernal Chains pulls him back, but he uses the ulti, and Sponge is actually the one that falls down. This time, Carey is able to keep himself alive, and Rich is trying to be the hero, but it's not enough. He's CC'd and put down, and now T1 will find themselves that advantage they've been looking for.
And we had the fight, you know, we jumped into it a little bit late. I'd love to see exactly how the setup worked and how DRX thought they were going to win that exchange or the engage there. But put themselves in such a risky spot, and Teddy is just not able to actually front to back with his team when the front line goes in that deep and just kind of ends up popping. So it's Rich who thinks he's caught Doran here. Sponge actually ults onto the Ambessa, and then Carrier's follow-up here is so phenomenal. They end up getting the charm onto Sponge. He dies first. Carrier then gets a knock-up onto Rich to keep him out of the fight. Look at Teddy. Throws a volley in, and he's like, I'm sorry, that's all I got. You guys were way too far away. You were way too split. I can't offer anything here. And that's that. That's Otacon. That's Baron.
We've seen this before.
We just recently did, didn't we?
Okay. They're looking to try and lock down Faker here, as Ona is going to stop Andal from following up. And Chains are going to connect. Faker going in one more time as World Enders happening across the board. But with a Mountain Soul available, I think Faker is definitely just a distraction at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, DRX are playing like they're the ones who have the withdrawals.
Oh, good dash to get out of the way of the arrow. And in the meantime, it is going to be Mountain Soul. Faker will be taken, or at least withdrawn. And now they're going in. Okay, Carrier is going to deliver Sponge to the rest of the team. And I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I think Sponge was reminded about how his ultimate works by Carrier there in that moment.
Yeah, and also reminded that the rest of his team was off killing Faker, as Yukal going to be dashing away from Ona here.
You mean withdrawing Faker?
Yes, there we go. They were withdrawing Faker. Doran is going to try and ult, but does not quite manage to do so. GUMAYUSI just going to get them out of there, as Ona is continuing to chase Yukal as much as he possibly can, while the rest of his team are looking to win the game. Faker has popped back up again, and he is just going to teleport to this mid lane. Ultimate from Andal not going to do too much, as Faker's going to land that arrow. That is no worries at all. Going golden as the rest of these Nexus turrets fall down, and T1, I mean, it was kept even for quite some time, but they dispatch of the Nexus immediately after finding just one fight.